You already know what you need to do. That's the part nobody talks about, the strange, almost painful awareness of knowing exactly what your next step should be and still not taking it. You know you should wake up earlier. You know you should put down the phone, close the tab, stop scrolling, start building. You know, and yet here you are, at the end of another day, making the same quiet promise to yourself that tomorrow will be different, and the question that should terrify you, the question most people spend their whole life running from, is this: what if tomorrow never actually comes? What if the version of you that finally gets serious, finally locks in, finally does the work, is always just one more day away? Because here is what I have learned after studying the psychology of high achievers, and what I believe with absolute certainty. Your problem is not motivation. It was never motivation. Your problem is that you have never truly understood what discipline actually is and what it can do to a human life when it is applied without apology. Before we go further, I want to ask you something. Think about the last time you made a promise to yourself, a real one, and broke it quietly when no one was watching. Did you feel it? That small but significant erosion of trust in yourself? If that hits close to home, write it in the comments, because you are not alone. And I think this conversation is one that far too few people are having. And if this channel speaks to something real inside you, subscribe, because everything I share here is designed to challenge the way you think about your own potential. Here is the truth about discipline that no one tells you when you're young. We are taught to think of discipline as restriction, as something cold, rigid, punishing. We imagine the disciplined person as someone who never has fun, never rests, never feels the pull of distraction. And because that image feels so far from who we are, we tell ourselves discipline is for other people, for naturally driven people, for people who don't struggle the way we do. But that story is one of the most destructive lies the human mind tells itself. Discipline is not the absence of desire. It is the presence of something stronger than desire, and that something is identity. The people who wake up at 5 in the morning and train when they're tired, who work on their purpose when no one is watching, who say no to instant gratification so they can say yes to something that actually matters. They are not fighting themselves to do it. They have simply decided, at a level deeper than emotion, who they are. And once that decision is made, the actions follow. Not perfectly, not without difficulty, but consistently. And consistency, compounded over time, is the only real superpower available to every single human being on this planet, regardless of where they started. Here is what discipline does to a mind that refuses to give up on itself. It builds what psychologists call self-efficacy, an unshakable belief in your own ability to execute. Every time you do what you said you would do, every time you honor a commitment to yourself, even a small one, you are sending a signal to your subconscious that says, I can be trusted. I am someone who follows through. And that signal, repeated hundreds and thousands of times, rewires the very architecture of how you see yourself. Confidence is not something that comes before the work. It is the result of the work. It is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when the alarm goes off and you get up anyway, when the resistance is at its loudest and you move forward anyway. Focus sharpens. Purpose clarifies. The noise of comparison and self-doubt begins to fall away, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. And strength, real inner strength, is not given. It is forged. So here is where it changes for you, right here, in this moment, if you choose to let it. Stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a myth that the undisciplined mind uses to protect itself from the risk of failure. The disciplined mind knows that you act first and the feeling follows. Start with one commitment, one non-negotiable that you keep every single day, no matter what. It does not have to be big. It has to be kept, because the size of the habit matters far less than the integrity of it. Every day you keep it, you are building a version of yourself that you can believe in. Every day you break it, you are confirming a story you need to stop telling. The gap between the life you have and the life you want is not filled with more information, more inspiration, or more perfect timing. It is filled with one thing and one thing only: disciplined action, taken before you feel like it, sustained long after the excitement fades. Transformation is not a moment, it is a method. And that method is available to you right now, today, with whatever you have, wherever you are. The only question left is whether you are finally ready to stop knowing and start doing. Because discipline is not the key to someone else's success. It is the key to yours, and it has been waiting for you all along.